what's going on, fellow zombies? Are we now awake? Are we still emotionally screwed up? 7:54 in the morning, West Coast time for a Tuesday, the 23rd of April, 2024. You're a zombie out here. We were John C. Roseman, California, still trying to get awake here. Thought I could try avoiding controversies concerning about the Donald Trump thing. But out here from Mr. Weaver, John C. Roseman, California, has been noticing more and more protesting happening. Not on the Trump trial. No, there's hardly anybody going to be complaining about that one. If they are, yeah, they're missing the mark left and right on this one. No, what they're complaining about is what's happening still in the Middle East. I'm coming across stories about protests happening in the streets. New York City was having people with conniption fits over Israel and its situation regarding Hamas. I'm hearing the president is trying to condemn the anti-Semitism. But what about the Islamophobia? That situation. I'm hearing about college campuses having protests, and it's terrifying as hell. Because I'm wondering whether or not if my own damn college, Antelope Valley College out in Lancaster, California, is going to be having the same situation there. And I'm going to be having an issue over that one. Because they're scaring me. Even a liberal college such as my own, of ABC, would not allow any major protesting. I mean, they'll probably allow a few signs here and there because we do allow free speech. But there's only so much that you can do regarding a free speech when you overdo it a bit. But then again, define overdoing it. Camp out on a campus would be overdoing it for once. And seeing some of these actions happening on a university level is a different story altogether. What I've been trying to do is research locally and nationwide on how this is happening and why this is happening. The anger concerning about what Hamas did to the Israelis, but then again, it was what Israelis went insane over. That thing is still, that thing is resonating across a great deal. But I'm not quite sure if they've gotten into a point where protests are happening on a sporadic basis. There's been a university out there, I think in Humboldt, had decided to do hybrid classes, which means part Zoom, part real. Real is you get your butt in your seats and you listen to what the professor's saying. Zoom is to stare at a computer screen and listen to what the professor's saying at this point. I know this is nuts. So I'm not quite sure what kind of a world relations we're going to have in the next few decades, because this is. We've got a lot of people out there who are angry. Young people and old people are angry over what's happening back east. And they can't do anything about it except scream and yell at the people who are around them. Just have a conniption fit over things. It's a terrifying thing. They probably said the same things concerning about the Vietnam War or anything else majorly happening, but I hadn't seen or remember anything else happening like this before. I'm just looking at a news articles posted within the last 24 hours over it. I don't like what the hell Hamas did, to tell you the truth. And one particular splinter group who wanted this insanity. Or else why did they go to the trouble of doing what they did? And then provoking Israel to do this wipeout business, this genocide, which also pissed off a hell of a lot of people on a lot of sides here. We're seeing a lot of Islamophobia happening. We're seeing a lot of anti-Semitism happening. And either you're on one side or the other side, apparently. And there are other people who are trying to say, no, we don't want this thing happening, period. We're trying to be on both sides at this point of not being hatred. We're trying to tell you that we don't like this. We don't want it. And quite honestly, I don't like it either. I don't want it. When you have a major protest like this, there's a lot of angry things coming out. A lot of anger towards people that do they understand it or do they not understand the anger of vitriol they're saying. It's one thing you're going to be demonstrating against the country of Israel. You're also demonstrating against the people of Israel who support it or not support it, because there are people in Israel who didn't support what the hell was out regarding Hamas. They never did. At least not to my knowledge anyway. And after what Hamas did, they really turned things into an insane asylum. Not an insane asylum, it's a bloodbath. Carnage, genocide. Yeah, I feel for the Palestinian people. Having Hamas do this in their backyard, and they're not going after the Hamas and getting rid of them. It also shows the world that they are still culpable about it. But they didn't ask a complete massacre like they're doing. If the hostages were released, Netanyahu would still go after the leaders, and he will flatten Gaza. He will flatten Gaza, and if he was really pissed off about it, he'll go after West Bank. Will the people rise up against the Israeli government to stop him on this one? Did they really want the peace, or did they really want this insane asylum to continue on? And tell you the truth, and honest to God, I don't know. I don't have any answers. But out here in the United States, we have people in different college campuses dealing with the same issues. They don't want it. They didn't want in the USC campus a pro-Palestinian student to speak about the war because they were afraid of major things happening on their USC campus that they couldn't control. Vandalism. They had a protest, and it was happening during the Los Angeles Times Festival of Books. They've been running this thing for about 30, 40 years, roughly. LA Times has. Showcasing authors. Originally, it was over at UCLA, but I never knew what the reasons were that they switched from UCLA to USC. A little further away. And there's protests over there concerning about Israeli versus Hamas or Israeli versus Gaza, however you're going to be looking at it at that point. And this is Yeah, I'm trying to understand the campus's concern about safety for faculty, students, and anybody else gets over there at the campus, student, faculty, and otherwise. By not having a valedictorian talking about things, but also counseling guest speakers left and right because of the Middle East going ape on this one. It's like which particular area and which particular controversy over this whole thing are you looking at that's changing things left and right to scare the hell out of people? And everything's scaring the hell out of people. People are terrified, the people are angry, and they want answers, and they're not going to get it. And if they are going to get it, but this is insane. All I could do is change channels and keep watching about what Trump is saying about this or that crap. What I'm looking for is the information about what's happening on the college campuses themselves. I haven't seen or read anything coming from my own college. I know they're going through graduation commencement things. I'm going to be joining them one of these here days. I would like to know whether or not if I'm going to be going on campus and it's going to be allowing free speech. It's too bad they couldn't allow a speech from a guy like me. If I could give him a speech, I would talk to him about, I would probably say something like this. To the students who have already survived the perils and rigors of a community college and feel that they're ready to deal with their quest for more academic greatness. For those who have entered into this hallowed halls of higher education away from the K through 12 mentality. And now you have to face things as an adult. This is a thing that we have to go through, isn't it? But then again, we all had our own personal trials and tribulations and traversities and adversities to get through. We are facing a future most of us are young enough to deal with and feeling like they're almost ready to deal with, while the rest of his older parts are just counting down until it's time to pass on. I can tell you honestly, students of Antelope Valley College, that we have been through a lot. Some of us have been here a lot longer than the usual program, but then again, we had our own programs to go through. We've taken our time, not just to do it right, not just to do it well, but just to do it, period. Because life was throwing us things and we dealt with it. We dealt with life, death, we dealt with homelessness, bankruptcies, disabilities. We dealt with the challenges that dealt with the spiritual, physical, and mental. Yet we would dare to come up on a stage such as this and claim our little graduate trophies just to say, damn it, we did this. Because this mattered to us. This mattered to me, the individual. This mattered to the group that we represent, to those that we hold in dear to our hearts. We hold it. We did this for them. We did this for them. That we made a vow. I made a vow. I came out of the K through 12 back in the 80s. I screwed this up. I didn't take it seriously enough. I wasn't mentally ready for it. I wasn't ready for the challenges. I was having my own issues. I called it 2.5 years only because for the first 2 years I did some things in this campus, not on the campus itself of Antelope Valley College. No, I did Pierce College out in Winnetka/Woodland Hills area. I met friends, faculty, people that I came to respect, and I didn't do as I have done in this campus, which was taking it seriously because I didn't have time, I didn't have perspective, I didn't understand. You could fill me up with the book knowledge left and right, but I didn't have the understanding of the commitment, what was necessary to do this. I wasn't committed. And I had to pay the price. I couldn't just loyally get home. My family would not allow it. So it was to work. It was to bust my butt. It was to go out into the working world and find your niche, if there is a niche, or just basically survive. So 30 plus years of going through a couple of job training programs and many jobs, one of which almost killed me. But I had to learn a lot of things about myself. And in the process, try to be a better human being when it came down for taking care of my family. And when they have passed, it was the hardest thing for this adult student here standing in front of you I had to deal with. The loss of family, those that I cared about a great deal all my life. I no longer have them in my life to share this moment as I'm standing in front of you, faculty and students and visitors. I don't have them here and physically. Spiritually in my heart, they are. But it doesn't. I would have preferred if they were here physically standing in front of me. Or at least one of them was, and doing a video to show to my family. But I can only do this with you folks and give a speech about how this person has struggled for survival. If I am hard to find the right words to say, it's because the emotion is choking me up. I am trying to understand this moment means. I am not sure if I'm going to be moving on to the next academic level. If I do, well, there'll be another challenge with it. I'd rather not be sitting on my keisters until the man with the scythe comes. But I'd rather be dealing with something that'll be worthwhile as well. But for me, just getting through this and speaking with these students about this, I am not the one to pass on batons to people left and right. I am not the one to tell people to follow me because I say so. I'm not passing out batons. What I am saying here is you're the ones who are going to have to pass off the batons to your younger generations because my generation's really screwing it up. I've already seen so many decisions that we've made that we have made our marks, our scars, onto the new generations that they will have to bear because we were not able or willing enough to solve our situations in our generation. And we have to hand it down again, like one generation to another generation does. You folks are going to have to be the bearers of your own banners and your own batons. Mine is broken. I can only hand off the pieces. I can only tell you that the world I left was very screwed up, and I didn't do enough to make that much of a difference with people. I had seen other things that happened. And I'll put this video on pause. Dog needs to go out. Well, either my dog was going to be doing in the living room or she was going to be doing it outside. I had to make sure she went outside. Well, you know how sappy that was going anyway. So if I was going to do the conclusion at this point, I had to do some editing on this one. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, and others, we keep saying that the future is ours for the future generation to build upon. Well, I worry about the cobblestones that the previous generations have laid upon that either we're still trying to build something what we consider great, or are we building something that's going to be not so great. But the one thing I will wish both past and previous generations is hold on to what is inside of you. Hold on to that. At times you get confused left and right, but there is something about the human spirit. There is something about the human soul that is telling others that I'm not quitting, no matter how long it takes. I've taken decades to get to this point, just to get through with a community college. Maybe at the young person's level, I should have been in the universities, struggling and trying to succeed where others have failed. But this was still a challenge for me. 2 years, they give you a smattering, maybe 2 or 3 years. Me, I've taken about as long as I've taken, 2 classes at a time. Because for me, that was the only thing I could do is take 2 classes at a time. I'm not ashamed of it. I had fun with it. I met people. I met people. I may not have any long-term connections, but I've met people, and for a short time we connected, and we dealt, we traveled, we learned, we grow, we separated. Each of us has our own individual journeys. Let us hope that one day we'll learn more and deal with it. We'll learn more about ourselves, and we'll learn more about each other. The one thing about college has taught me is keep an open mind, and you'll be surprised. With that, I bid you all good journey. I'm not saying goodbye. I'm not saying farewell. I'm just saying good journey because it ain't over yet. And with that being said, putting that particular speech aside, maybe one day I'll deliver something like that, or maybe not, or just post it somehow. As of today, I'm not ready yet. As of today, I'm not there yet. But the journey continues, and I may get the certificate yet, or I may not. But I can tell you one thing: I've stayed in college a lot longer than what was expected, and I had more fun. I had more fun in the college system than I did about K through 12. Okay, with that being said,